8th of 8th of September 1700 hours. I'm watching King Kong as well, if you can hear it in the background. It's on channel 4. A number of foreign journalists and television crews had been traveling with Aquino, and although security men tried to prevent them sending out their dramatic stories, their accounts were soon making headline news around the world. All were broadly agreed on the sequence of events after the aircraft had parked at gate 8. First onto the air bridge tube after it was connected were 3 or 4 uniformed soldiers who approached Aquino and began to lead him along the tube towards the main door. As they left, other guards in plain clothes stopped journalists from following and finally closed the door at the end of the tube. The last time any of the journalists saw Aquino live, he was being escorted by at least 5 uniformed men onto a platform of steps that led down the tube service door to the tarmac below. A few seconds later, a single shot rang out. Then, after a brief pause, two or three more. Inside the aircraft, people rushed to the windows to find out what was going on, and saw Aquino face down in his own blood. There was no sign of uniformed troops who had been with him in the tube just a few seconds earlier, but as the journalists watched in horror, several members of the airport security unit, Aviation Security Command, Aviscom, fired at the body of a second man. One in particular placed his automatic rifle on the man's body, and coldly pumped bullet after bullet into his stomach. Other Aviscom men fired shots in the air, forcing the watching journalists in the airplane to duck as Aquino's body was rushed away in Aviscom van. Official briefings. It was 5 hours before the Filipino authorities allowed the story that already horrified the world to be reported within the country, and a whole rumor-filled day before President Marcos' publicity presented the official version of the events at Manila Airport. Looking frail and ill, Marcos asserted that he had almost begged Aquino not to return. His killer, Marcos said, had clearly been a professional, firing a single shot from a .357 Magnum, one of the most powerful handguns in the world, into Aquino's head from a range of 18 inches. Aquino's security men were not armed. The president insisted, but they had tried to shield him with their own bodies. Official briefings later provided the press with more information. The alleged assassin was 5 foot 6 inches tall, weighed about 12.5 stone, and was between 30 and 35 years old. The only clue to his identity was the word Rolly embroidered on the waistband of his underpants, and an R engraved inside the gold wedding ring. Yet, even without a name to go on, the Marcos regime had no hesitation in attributing the killing to a communist plot deliberately designed to blacken the Philippines government with its allies abroad. Above all, in the United States, President Reagan was due to visit Marcos in a few months' time. According to officials, Aquino's killer had disguised himself in the uniform of an airport maintenance worker in order to penetrate the intensive security. When Aquino had arrived on the tarmac from the service steps, the man had rushed out from the hiding place beneath the CAL aircraft, shoved past the escort and fired a fatal shot. Aviscom troops had then shot him dead. 2 days after Aquino's death, as his widow Corazon and his dead children arrived in Manila for his funeral, President Marcos announced the formation of an unofficial commission under the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to undertake a free, unlimited and exhaustive investigation into the murder. It was swiftly repudiated by the Aquino family, the opposition party and the strong Catholic Church, all of whom accused the government of choosing Marcos' mouthpieces to carry out a cover-up. The President subsequently made a somewhat extraordinary offer of £30,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the killer or killers, and this was also ridiculed. Had not Marcos himself already assured the nation that the assassin was the man in the blue trousers in the pay of the communists whom the troops had shot? There was an addition mounting disbelief that security authorities still could not identify the alleged killer, despite having his fingerprints and other physical leads. I will continue with this later. Thank you very much.